Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tiger stripe the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounds, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes be tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move closing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange on bottle. Bingo bottle. Never stop it till the beast.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Not to be a favorite. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I am made a big jump. I'm up to 2,111 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. So, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, let's go see in the YouTube chat crew. We're doing super chat. So if you got something for Dale, just Dale, for Willie Lutz, asking when his hair's going to grow all the way back or something cool like that, or Kieran, if he, rated R superstar, which hopefully he jumps on sometime. Give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. Did you know the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties? Well, if you didn't, it is. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. So if you guys look for a house to rent, a condo, an apartment, if you have a rental property that you just don't want to manage anymore, give T Properties a shot. They'll take care of the rest. And as always, if you guys don't know it by now, we got this quarterback, the best quarterback in the league, the guy who should win the MVP tonight, but he's probably not going to. Jackpot Joey. You get the merch right here. JackpotJoey.com. Get the hats, get the flags, get the shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. We got the beer. It's not at JackpotJoey9.com. It's at Brink Brewery. Remember, all or portions of every purchase go to the Joe Burrow Fund and the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. So not only are you wearing cool stuff and drinking delicious beer, you're helping people out. So make sure you go check that out. And if you guys have not signed up for Betfred yet, why the hell not? Super Bowl week. There's going to be all kinds of different prop bets and different things they do on there. Make sure you guys go sign up for Betfred Sports and play some bets and have a wonderful time. What's up to everybody in the chat crew? I say Stranger was first, or excuse me, Crip was first, so he beat Stranger. Crip Creeper, Stranger, Greg, Pork Chop, Jackpot Joey is in there. What's up? Yes, we are planning. I'm planning my trip. We're going to go to Vegas. I'm going next year, or it's going to happen because I'm going to watch the Bengals in there. Chris is in there. Greg's in there. Tom Brooks is in there. Mike. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about it at work last night. I'm like, you know what? I started the 2019. That's 5 years. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, I've been doing this 5 years. Time flies when you're having fun. And the funny thing is, 5 years ago, I didn't know any of these guys, especially this one right here.
Sleeveless Dale is back, bitches.
Sleeveless Dale is back. All right, I'm done talking to you. Let's get to Willie. Willie, what's up, brother?
What's poppin', boys? Man,
what's going on?
I'm living the dream, man. That hair I got in that picture, I'm so glad it's flattened out. There's a big old hook going on. I don't know
Yeah,
how
you had
that
a little hook.
happened.
I like the little hook though. It looked good.
Right
All
on.
right, boys. So, what's your? I guess Jim kind of let the cat out of the bag for as far as the Hall of Fame vote tonight for Willie. He says Willie's not getting in, but it sounds like Ken Riley's getting in. What does this mean for Bengals in general? Of finally getting another guy in the Hall of Fame. Willie, I'll let you go first.
I've thought about this a lot throughout the day, and I actually just got done talking to Jim for something we're doing for AJ Green. It was kind of cool to pick his brain on it before we kind of got into that conversation. But I just think it means a lot to a lot of young fans in particular and old fans alike, because I think for old fans, it's probably been such a long time since they've had this opportunity to see a Bengal go into the Hall of Fame and to see themselves really celebrated as. I think it's an achievement of greatness within the league to be a member of the Hall of Fame. It's a certain status that, it's very limited. It's not, you guys know what I'm trying to say, but to see the Bengals be able to finally have another name recognized and have it be someone whose statistical, prowess and prowess among former players is really, really high. I just think it resets the bar and, reintroduces the Bengals into these conversations for a long term. And it doesn't feel impossible that a Bengal could get into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. What's your thoughts there, Dale?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it sounds like Willie's not going to get in and not Willie Lutz. Willie Anderson, Willie Lutz should
The
be
other Willie.
Hall of
told me I can call my jacket's in the mail.
Should have been first ballot Hall of Famers, in my opinion. Both of those guys. But Willie Anderson, I mean, arguably, and I would
best
argue
right tackle of his era.
Right tackle of all time.
Okay,
and we're seeing now that right and left tackle doesn't really matter that much. You need both. I mean, you really do. These pass rushers come off both ends, motherfuckers. They don't come off of just one. So for me, I think it's a travesty that if he's not getting in again. I understand that Joe Thomas also deserves to be in.
But what the hell did Joe Thomas win that Willie didn't do?
But you can put in more than one offensive lineman per year if they're deserving.
It's just because Joe Thomas is on TV.
Like, that's the problem. It seems like the NFL's like, we can only have one of those guys from the trenches in there, from the offensive line. We got to have our skill guys and this and that. So that sucks. But I'm happy for Ken's family. Ken should have been in a long time ago and been able to enjoy that moment and give his speech on his own. That part sucks. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy for his family. I'm happy for Ken Riley II, his wife, for the rest of the family, that they're going to be able to enjoy that moment and see him get the props that he rightfully deserved from being on the football field.
Yeah, exactly. Ken Riley is still 5th in interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean,
he should have been in a long time ago.
Right there. Still, I've been saving this stuff for this. Right here. Still 5th, 65 interceptions. I mean, this is stuff he's done for. It's just ridiculous. 1983 he freaking retired. Willie, you weren't even alive then.
I would be alive for a long time from 1983.
I mean, it pisses me off. It's taking this much to get him in, and I'm sorry. If Joe Thomas gets in, it's gonna really piss me off even more that Willie didn't get it, because what the hell did Joe Thomas do?
Prepare yourself.
He didn't. Joe Thomas didn't win anything. He was on one of the worst freaking franchises in NFL history. The Browns didn't win shit. He didn't do anything. Yes, he's a great player. Not any better than Willie, but he gets in before Willie. That's bullcrap. I'm sorry. It is. If that's what happens, it's bullcrap. I'm irritated. But I'm happy for Ken. I'm happy for Ken Riley II. He finally can walk into the Hall of Fame, because he told his dad that he wouldn't set foot there until his dad got in there. So sounds like that, at least that's going to happen tonight. We're making progress, but it's like freaking pulling teeth. This is just stupid.
Listen, Crypt Keeper. He's not just Ronald Weasley. He is Ron Weasley mixed with Matthew McConaughey from the Dazed and Confused movie.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All right.
That's the combination. You've got to combine those.
All right, Willie. So where are you at? All right, so Dale already kind of got mad at me already before the show started, because T. Higgins came out and said
I
that
didn't
he
get
doesn't-
mad. I don't
You
think
said I
that's
was saying wrong
exactly
stuff.
what he said.
Okay, what he said is he basically wants to be here. He loves Cincinnati and he wants to be here. Is what he said. Right? Am I wrong?
He hopes to be here for a long. Like I hope
It's
to
the
win
same
a fucking
thing.
$1 million next week, but it don't mean it's gonna fucking happen.
Well,
like
trust me,
at the
T
end
has a
of
lot
the
better
fucking-
shot of getting $1 million than you do, and T has a better shot of
no
staying in
shit,
Cincinnati.
but
So,
that's all I was
It-
saying though is that like at the end of the day, it's the money and it's the this and the that still comes into play. He's not gonna go in there and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm under contract for this season, and they could franchise tag me for next season." I'm not going to be the
Well,
guy who
he
just
could
comes
also
on here and
answer
is
it-
like,
he-
"Oh,
he-
fuck Cincinnati."
he can also
fuck,
answer it.
Fuck the
He can,
chili.
he can also answer it like, well, that's my
David
agent's
Green.
thing. It's
He's
up to
not gonna
him.
say
He'll be
that.
taking care of that. That's how he could answer it too. He doesn't have to say I love Cincinnati. You know, he could say he could just say, hey, yeah, that's my agent's thing. You know, we'll see it happens.
PR 101, I would
There you
say,
go.
hey, here's what you should go on there and say. And that's what he said. I just don't think I don't think it was any greater or like it was what you want to hear, but I'm not taking it as
I'm
like
not gonna say
that means T's here for the next 10 years.
Did I say that? Did I say that?
No,
Did
but
I
that's
say that?
that's what you're
I just said he wants to be
from those
here. That's
comments.
all I said.
Goddamn, listen, Iceman. I'm just saying. Let's get
I'm
Willie's
telling you what the
opinion.
man said.
I'm just telling you what I'm saying. That
Well, you're
inferring
reading into
from it.
stuff. I'm just telling you what
You're
you're
reading
Boys,
into the
boys.
comments.
Go ahead, Willie. What you got?
Let your boy kind of. Let's see if I can mediate this a little bit.
Go for it. We might need some help.
So I think that an interesting part of the quote comes from T. Higgins talking about kind of thinking it's funny to see himself mocked into all these other uniforms. And I think that for him, his response to that line of questioning to be, I want to be in Cincinnati. And Dale's right. I mean, if you tell any player to go on one of these media hits before they're due for a contract extension,
Say it again, Willie. Say it again.
Dale was right, Iceman. But Iceman, I don't think you're wrong. There he goes. Iceman, I don't think you're wrong in your feeling that it gives you a sort of a renewal of confidence, because I think for him to kind of, make it a point for him to say, I want to be in Cincinnati. It does give me a little bit of Jesse Bates vibes, but I mean, that's just kind of the most recent contract negotiation for a star player that's in our heads. But
Same agent.
Same agent.
Yeah.
That's the thing that does scare me with him.
Yeah.
Is the same agent. That's I will say that.
I don't worry about that as much. I think Jesse rightfully is very intent on getting the most amount of guaranteed money he can get, which for his position, it honestly makes more sense. Wide receivers are going to get paid highly no matter what, and they're going to make a hell of a lot of money if they play at a high level. Even if they don't play at a high level, there are wide receivers like, DJ Chark's a great example. He's a wide receiver 4 on this team. He's a wide receiver 3 on a lot of teams. High-end wide receiver 2 on the Lions. I think he was 1 year, $10 million. That's good money for a player that we don't view as a number one player at his position.
Well, I'll add Christian Kirk, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, he had a good year
Great
this year,
example.
but coming into that, like, and they gave him what I can't remember, was it like 80 million? It was like,
It's one of the highest guaranteed contracts to a
Yeah.
wide receiver.
and
ever.
I was like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Like, I think he's a solid player, and I thought he had more to give than what he was doing there in Arizona. But I was like, holy shit, Christian Kirk got that.
So, yeah, all that to say, I think the thing for T is, I mean, while Jesse Bates was looking for guaranteed money, I'm sure T. Higgins is going to be looking for guaranteed money. I also think that if you're the Bengals, you know what wide receivers are worth in this league, and you've always paid wide receivers, and you know teams are going to pay wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it just, regardless of dealing with the super agent, and David Molletta is going to be involved in a lot more of these negotiations for the Bengals going forward because he is a super agent. I think that there is going to be a push to get this done this offseason, and I think there's going to be an openness from T's angle to, it's going to have to be a back and forth. They're going to have to find the exact dollar figures because this Burrow contract is going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. But as we know,
Sorry.
Right. What about this one? And do you think does Burrow get his whole contract fully guaranteed? I don't think so because
well,
I don't think
you poke around the
Okay.
league these days. The Deshaun Watson contract's an outlier.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen that often. It's a unique situation
because the Browns are dumbasses.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, they're dumbasses.
yeah.
Go
But
ahead,
also,
Willie, sorry.
Burrow could end up with like the $500+ million contract, whereas that was $230 also. So
And the thing is, too,
I
like
just
Satori
don't
was
see
saying,
that
like
guaranteed.
Satori was saying yesterday, you can structure it like Patrick Mahomes too, so you still can keep guys. I know they lost Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill wanted, a bag. So I mean, you still can structure it around being the highest paid quarterback, as long as they know how to maneuver the salary cap and stuff.
But Jeff, we were kind of on the same page with that, weren't we? With T, like we think this is the off season to get it done, or were we
Yes,
not
yeah.
on the same? Okay.
I am.
Some people
okay.
haven't been. They're like, oh,
Well,
I don't think that one gets done. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, I don't think that one gets done this year. And I'm like, this is the time to get it done, so you're not dealing with this Jesse Bates situation that happened now. If it was me, I think you get it done now. And the way the cap's going up, that contract will look better as it, here in a few years, it's going to be like, oh, that's not.
They
so
always
bad.
do.
I mean, one thing I was like that, and I'm not changing my mind, but Satori yesterday kind of brought something up. Is the way to circumvent salary cap is cash signing bonuses. Joe's going to get one this year, so if you are trying to give as much money cash up front, you really can't do two huge signing bonuses in the same year. So maybe you wait and do T next year just because of that. That's and the way he explained that kind of made sense. So I don't know.
And it does, but here's the thing. Why did they give the stadium right names and the two gates and all this other money that they should have cash on hand for? Like, it's for things like this, right?
I'm not disagreeing with it. He made a good point. So I was like, I think they should get it done. I'd rather get it done sooner than later and just don't have to worry about this crap.
I know, but Willie, what is your thoughts on that? Because, to me, that's why we did the naming rights and we did that. So we'd have more of the cash, because it's the whole cash over cap thing. I mean, I am not an expert like a lot of these guys, but just in general, I know you need to have the cash up front. That's a big thing that we don't always have. We're not up against the cap all the time, but we don't give the guaranteed money. We don't have the cash on hand and an escrow account to give them. So what is your thoughts? To me, the naming rights should help. What do you think?
I think the naming rights should and will help. And I think that, Dale, you make an interesting point. I mean, all this talk is they got the naming rights to secure Burrow in the long term, but they are well aware that they want to pay these two wide receivers long term as well. Another part of this is the point that you want to get it done. Does it make more sense this offseason or next offseason? I'm a big believer that in this league, you don't want things hanging over your head if you don't have to. And that can't be realistic for every player in every situation. But if you know a guy is going to be part of your long-term, picture and you can get him extended and you want to make sure that it doesn't turn into a whole thing, just get it done. Because, I mean, you look around the league and look at what's going on with Lamar Jackson. It's not a good situation. Even if they get that thing done, it's always going to be a little bit of it's going to be a bad mark on that reputation and that franchise's, ability to retain premier offensive talents.
Or bring in a free agent, Marlon Humphrey, right?
Prescott, things like that. It's just not, they got him extended eventually, but that situation became so nasty and it's tainted that situation even to today. So you got to get these things done when you can, or they get nasty.
Wasn't it Marlon Humphrey on Twitter said there was a bunch of guys at, the Pro Bowl thing asking about being Ravens, but I said, hey, we can't even pay Lamar yet. So, did you guys see that? I think it was
I missed that
general sentiment that Marlon Humphrey on Twitter said all these guys are talking about, they're like, are you out there recruiting? And he's like, we need to pay Lamar first.
Right.
I can't tell these guys, hey, we're going to pay you when we haven't even paid our quarterback.
I have a question for a gut feeling for both of you. Do you think Lamar Jackson is a rat bird next year? I'm leaning more toward no right now because reports are they're 100,000 or 100,000 or 100 million, whatever it is, apart.
It's been over. It's so over.
Yeah. I think
it seems over, but they seem stubborn on the situation. Is where
I'm sure they are. They're the Baltimore Ravens. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, dude, if Lamar's gone, dude, we own this division for a while. I mean, I ain't scared of Pickett at all. I don't know, and Deshaun Watson still doesn't scare me either. I mean, because the Browns are a sucky ass organization. They're not going to do it right. I mean, if Lamar's gone, I'm pretty confident we're going to win this division. I don't know, 5 years in a row, maybe.
I will say with Baltimore, I'm never going to doubt their ability to get back in it.
That's what I was going to say. Who do they end up getting somehow?
But they never had a quarterback like Burrow to deal with. I mean,
they won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I know they won one, but I mean they didn't. I'm talking about winning the division multiple years. So that's where I'm just like they didn't have a team like the Steelers were never a juggernaut like the Bengals were when the Ravens were doing. The Steelers would come up and go down. The Ravens would come up and go down. It was always those two fight, but there wasn't one single team where I think the Bengals could be good every single freaking year, and they have to deal with that, and they don't have the weapons to do it. It's hard to get to. I mean, we're up here. Ravens are like here. You take Lamar Jackson out, they're all the way down here. I mean, it's a big loss. That's just what I'm saying.
What was the voice again?
I don't want to say I'm afraid of that defense, but I have a lot of admiration for what they've done on defense. Is the only thing I'll say to the contrary, because for the most part, I see eye to eye with you.
I'm not saying we're going to dominate them. I just say it's going to be a lot easier.
You literally basically said we will dominate them. Word for word.
You're reading into things again, Dale.
Oh my God! You said, Willie, did he not just say we're going to dominate them for years if they get rid of Lamar?
He said dominate the division, which
dominate the division. Yeah, I said we can. Yeah.
We don't have to be the therapist at the end of all of this.
I know. Dale
doesn't understand what I'm
saying. All right, here. Greg goes, will they have enough money to sign Wilson along with Chase, Higgins, and Burrow? Because that's another one we got. That's coming up here. This guy gets signed.
Yeah, I think I'm not worried about that one for some reason. I think that I'm not even worried about extending him this offseason, which he's eligible for. He's a linebacker in the NFL. He's an off-ball linebacker. I know the Bengals struggle with it for a long time, but they seem to have found a sweet spot in recent years developing those guys. So I think that you can find a way to keep him if there's an agreeable term and he wants to stay in town. But Logan Wilson is not a guy that I think it would be great to have him and you need continuity, but I don't think it's the end all be all necessarily.
I wouldn't want to lose both of them. I wouldn't want to lose him.
That's the hard
Pratt.
part.
So if Pratt goes, I think you do want to sign Wilson, but I don't think it'll be this offseason. I think he's a guy that you could, kind of be like, hey, we're going to pay you, and go see what he does. He has had a couple injuries here, and the shoulder's been kind of a recurring problem, the shoulder issues. So
back-to-back years. Yep.
That's a guy that I would almost rather wait and see how he plays this year and then go from there. So,
all right, Crippy, keep put on your franchise tag. Is there anybody you think the Bengals will franchise tag this year? I mean, Logan, you don't have the he's still signed.
This year,
franchise tag is for a linebacker. It's about $20 million. Yeah. If you want to franchise tag a linebacker, be my guest.
Well, I mean, I guess my question is, I don't know of somebody that they would franchise tag.
Jesse maybe at 17.3, but even then,
I don't even think you're not franchising Pratt. I don't think they're using it this year. Just my opinion.
Well, after they drafted Dax is why you wouldn't do that with Bates. Right. But honestly, if you didn't have a Dax, caliber player behind Bates, I would be for that. If they hadn't spent first round draft capital on his replacement, but they did.
See, the thing I'm going to talk I've been thinking about this a lot since the end of the season, but the Dax Hill thing is going to be fascinating to watch play out because when we saw him in limited action this year, you know what we saw? He looked like a rookie. Will he look like a rookie next year? I don't know. We don't know a whole lot about Dax Hill yet. The thing that I love about Jesse Bates is what you're going to get most of the time, and you really know what you're going to get come those big games. 17.3 still a little steep for me, but I think that it could end up being a more interesting conversation about retaining Jesse Bates for them than fans might think now.
Well, especially the salary cap went up by what, like 15 million or more. So, knowing you have that, and if you're not able to work out an extension with T. Higgins, let's just say you work one out with Joe, and you're like, well, we still got a little extra money for this year, and in our budget, that projected budget, do you throw that? But Dax Hill, though, as far as his play this year, I feel like he was playing out of position. His natural position is to play that position of Bates, and in the preseason, I thought he played it well. So that's why I still have hopes that he would be fine filling in for him because I liked him. I thought he was a top 15 player that we got at 31.
Yeah, so, we're not signing Bates. I mean, I've said this the whole time. I don't think Bates is coming back, and I don't think Pratt's coming back. I think they're letting both of them go, to be honest, because you have Dax and you have Akeem Davis Gaither there. Those are the reasons. But they're in place to replace them. That's a pretty easy I won't say plug and play, but guys that are in that position have played it before to replace them to not have to spend so much money. And the Bengals don't spend money on those two positions, on linebacker and safety. They spend money on wide receivers, quarterbacks. So that's why it's a better chance of us signing Joe, obviously Joe and T than, those two, I think.
Have you guys seen like the linebackers if Pratt doesn't come back and potentially it could be like all from one draft class?
Yeah, all
Or
three.
top five, like I was saying.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me. You got
Yeah,
Wilson
Bocce,
Gaither, third, fourth.
yeah.
Bocce, Clay Johnston, Anarchy, all those guys was one draft
Wilson.
class.
Like all those guys came, and they all came in Burrow's draft.
And the 7th round, I'm forgetting Bailey, your guy.
Bailey.
Yep.
I can't forget because I could see them using Bailey and Gaither to fill in for Pratt, like two guys for one almost this year.
Mm-hmm. I can totally see him doing it too. But I mean, when you say that, just think how good that draft was of 2020. We had Burrow, Higgins, Wilson, Davis Gaither, Pratt. I mean, it's freaking. We hit.
Adeniji was in that, which I know it's like people are super down on it, and I get it. But he was a 6th round pick that has started on the offensive line on a team that in the Super Bowl and an AFC championship. So that's still for a 6th round pick. Like if he does nothing the rest of his career, I know, he didn't play well. I'm not saying he played well in the biggest games, but he done well enough in the other games. Swing tackle throughout the season. I thought Adeniji was solid at swing tackle in the limited snaps.
Yes,
exactly. That draft is just ridiculous. And that's what's kind of fun sometimes to look back at the draft, especially when you hit on as many as we did then, because there's been lots of drafts where we've looked back at like Obuehi, Fisher. What the hell are we thinking? Why did we draft John Ross?
Do we want to talk a little draft? We got Willie on here. Jazz.
Absolutely. I love talking draft. Let's go. What do you got, Dale?
Well, I got a couple. So I'll start with my linebacker, but I also want to get to the D tackle. And Willie probably knows the two guys I'm talking about from our Twitter interaction. So Deion Henley, I'll start with because he's going to be way more excited about Kalaji Kancey here in a minute. So Deion Henley, though, played wide receiver for I think 2 years at Nevada. Then he started to transition to playing linebacker, and then he transferred to Washington State for 1 season this past year. Balled out, looked great at the Senior Bowl, super athletic, but he does have some issues, which I'll have Willie talk about. But thoughts on Deion Henley, and if we would add a linebacker, he wouldn't be a bad one.
No, so I'll start with the linebacker here, obviously, as you kind of set us up for it. But, I mean, you pointed out a lot of his positive traits on Twitter, and I think you also pointed out a few of the things that would be a little bit of a cause for concern. And the thing for me that I always revert back to when I'm looking at linebackers in the draft is tackling ability and speed. He's got the speed all day long. He's got burst. He does not tackle very well. He tackles like a guy that played wide receiver in high school. And
college.
And early in college. So, when you have those kind of guys, I mean, getting him in the building and getting him on your team and developing him is one thing. But the thing for the Bengals that I think would probably make him not as much as high on their board, if you're going to come into that building and you're not going to start right away, Darren Simmons is going to have you on that special teams. And if you can't tackle on that special teams, you will not see the field. You will end up cut. I think that there are players that the Bengals have actually drafted even higher than he would go. And they wound up guys that don't play their rookie year. And by the second year, they wind up on the street. I'm trying to think of one of the linebackers that happened to right at the end of the Marvin era, but I'm blanking on the name.
I remember the kid that was from Cincinnati. Not when they drafted. Well, the kid I think he was from Buffalo. They signed him as a free agent. And it was like a big homecoming. And then I can't remember. He didn't even make it the whole year. I think that was Marvin's last year.
Preston Brown.
Yes.
Well, Paul Dawson's still one of my biggest disappointments because I thought
that's who I was thinking of. Paul Dawson's who I was going
Paul
for.
Dawson from TCU, 3rd round pick. Like, I was like, oh, that's solid, man. He couldn't fucking tackle.
Nope.
He couldn't wrap up. He couldn't fucking bring him down.
So what about this linebacker from Arkansas? You guys know who he's talking about?
Love him. Drew Sanders. He's going to be a pass rusher in the NFL. He's not
first round pick. He's 6'5". Yeah. 6'5", like 235.
He's going to be an alpha. He's that guy.
Yeah.
He played at Alabama, and Alabama didn't figure out how to use him soon enough. Transferred to Arkansas and became an absolute menace.
Yeah. Wow. Shocking. Alabama didn't figure out something right for once.
But he'll go first round. He'll go first round.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what Willie, what are you thinking offensive line wise here? Because is there going to be a right?
You're skipping over his huge crush.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
So defensive tackle Jeff, if you ain't watched this guy, you need to. Joe Goodberry has a good thread on him. No, well, Joe Goodberry has a really good Twitter thread on him, but we've been talking about this guy. I was hoping maybe he'd slide to the second, but he is a first round talent. Elijah Campbell, Cansey from Pitt. So, Willie, I'll let you talk about him because you got a huge crush on this man as well.
So I've been kind of in on this for a little while because I watch a lot of Pitt Panthers football for absolutely no reason. I watch all these Clemson games and all these North Carolina games because I like to watch these quarterbacks and like to watch their offenses in particular. The North Carolina offense next year, by the way, watch that offense. That Drake May, stud. Not the point. Elijah Cansey. If you're looking for,
you can see the gleam in his eyes.
I know. That's why I couldn't let you pass up. Like I wasn't trying to take your show over.
No, you're good.
I could not let us not talk about the main one for him.
Yeah, so this is my favorite first round target right now. Every time I do one of those PFF mock draft things, I'm happy to reach for him. I'm telling you, if you're looking to upgrade your pass rush in one off season with one move, which I think the Bengals are. I don't want to say a desperate need to do, but I think that it's got a little more urgency than we might want to think. I mean, you're already pretty stocked in that group. But if you're just talking about singular defensive impact, when you put Cansey, even in situations where he's double teamed, he is so physically talented with both his rip and particularly his spin move. It is just absolutely mind blowing. I mean, considering some of the players he was going against, and I can't think of the name of the Tennessee guard that I really like, but he had this dude in an absolute bind. If you go back and watch that Pitt Tennessee game, it's Cansey over and over and over again. You go back and watch a Clemson game, it's Cansey over and over and over again. I think adding that sort of size and explosiveness in the middle of this line does something to this defense that Larry Ogunjobi started to do and kind of did, but isn't quite that level of player. Cansey's finishing ability is way better. His raw potential, I'd say, is a lot higher than Ogunjobi. I mean, Ogunjobi is, I think he'd admit, has physical limitations. Cansey does not. He plays like an edge on the inside. It's freaky. It's what this Bengals defense needs one way or another because the pass rush was not good enough this year, and I think we can all admit that. I just think it's such a one-piece boost to this defense that I think it might be a no-brainer if he winds up being the guy on the board for them.
So will he make it to 28? You think?
I think he ends up making it to 28. We'll see.
Right now,
that's what you guys are killing me. You keep giving me these offensive linemen, this linebacker. Is he going to make it there? Well, I don't know.
But that's what we want to set you up for options, Jeff. So you can be happy with options.
So I get disappointed.
There's right tackles that I like, and Willie would probably agree with. At least I know DeJuan Jones.
Yeah,
but I like, or not DeJuan Jones. Darnell Wright from
Darnell. Yeah, Darnell Wright's a dog.
Yeah,
and then I don't know how you feel about DeJuan Jones yet because I like either of them.
Got mixed feelings on DeJuan Jones. Should we talk a little DeJuan Jones? Because I think unless you want to talk about Cansey anymore.
I just wanted to mention with Cansey how quick he is getting in the backfield, dude. It is like
it's insane.
Like it really is. Like I mean, man, it's almost blasphemy to say, but you know how good Geno was here and in his prime.
I got his autographed shoes right over there. Yeah, I know.
Amazing player. This guy fires off the snap quicker. On tape.
Good God, you're gonna have me rooting for like 25 guys.
I'm sorry. If you watch it like he does, and he does it consistently, like
he just whine. Like he has one of those things where you're watching on your phone, and you're like happy, and then you're like that shouldn't happen. Like a little head tilt, like that didn't. You have to like watch it like 3 more times, and be like, no, that guy ended up there somehow. I don't know how he got there.
It's like did he teleport through the body of the offensive lineman?
It's absurd. He's a freak of nature.
I'm excited for before we talk to DeJuan Jones, I want to get your opinion on a running back I like. Since you watch Pitt, maybe you could say I'll say Izzy.
Yeah, that's the guy we can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, it's Israel. It's out of
go ahead, Will. You pronounce it.
I think he's all right. I think that the Pitt offense I don't know if it's just me watching the Pitt offense, but that offense doesn't do a whole lot for me. I can't pronounce his name either. I think his nickname is Izzy. So
We're going
It
Izzy.
is. It is. That's what
Yeah,
I've
we're
been
going with
calling.
Izzy. Yeah, that's what we
but
decided. We're just calling him Izzy.
he's okay. I think that
He's only 20. Like, he's young.
I was about to
and
say he
he's
could develop into a
productive.
nice piece for
Yeah.
a team, but I don't know that if you're the Bengals, and I think that a lot of Bengals fans are starting to come around to the idea that Joe Mixon has a good shot of not being the starting running back next year.
Or even on the team.
Or even on, I mean, I think that it's headed more that way than not. I just think that a guy like him that probably needs a little more development would be great for a team that has a running back in place already that's maybe getting a little older that they're ready to transition off of.
He would be a better like second running back to draft if we're going to get rid of Mixon to save his contract. To me, like
Yeah,
he's
I
a
totally
guy
agree.
that I'm like 5th round and you develop him.
Oh yeah, that's a great fit for him.
And what about I like this guy. I can't remember his name, but he killed the Bearcats.
Tajay Spears.
Yeah,
Yes.
I tweeted out as that game's happening. Every Bearcats fan's going to be mocking Tajay Spears.
Yeah, he killed us this year, dude. God.
His whole week, though, his whole Senior Bowl week, like, was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I got him as a top 5 running back for the draft right now, so I think he goes before we're drafting one.
Yeah, he's little, and I don't know how much he offers you in pass protection, but the dude is elusive and I just think there's an explosiveness that comes with him that you're just missing from Joe Mixon right now that would still make him pretty high on my board as well.
All right, so we're ready to get into offensive line, right tackles here?
Yeah, Dewan Jones. We'll get Willie's thoughts on those. I'm going to check on my dog.
All right, go ahead. Thank God he left. Cheezel. No, not just you, me, Willie. No. So, Dewan Jones, what's your thoughts on him? Are you frozen, Willie? Willie? Are you there? Willie.
Well, there it is. There we go. It all went black there for a second, and now I'm back.
All right, good. I was like, you like frozen. I'm like, all right. Dale left, and the whole show what the hell?
Oh man.
All right, so Dewan Jones. Okay, first of all, this is the way I start out this way because I get all excited about guys. If they're not going to freaking be there, then I don't get as excited. Is there an actual shot he'll be there at 28? Do you think?
Oh, he'll be there at 28.
You think so? I mean, because I guess where is he ranked as far as the offensive line go? You know,
I know that Dale likes him as a round 1 guy. I think Dewan Jones is more of a round 3 guy. I think that I think that there's a very high probability he's there at 60 for the Bengals, and I don't think there's an impossible path to him. I know
because Goodberry's been tweeting about him too, so that's why I'm like, I thought he's a first round guy.
The thing with Dewan Jones that I think a lot of people underrate is he has very bad issues with his recovery ability. When a guy beats him inside, that's it. He will not win that set. It's over. And I think when you're looking at a guy that's played as much college football as him, he was at the Senior Bowl. I think he played all 5 years at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. That's a concern to me. It's not enough a concern. I still think he could very well be a good right tackle in the long term. I think he could be a plug-and-play right tackle. I keep calling him Diet La'el Collins, and I feel really good about that comp. I mean, there's things that La'el Collins can do he's a little more athletic. In his prime, he was definitely better combating those inside rushes. But when you look at Dewan Jones, you're looking at elite hand placement. You're looking at one of the strongest guys that's going to be in this draft class. And you're going to be looking at one of the guys that's the most technically sound in this draft class. So if you can kind of look past some of those flaws, and I think there's prospects in this draft that are less flawed than him and have a higher floor and a higher ceiling even. I don't know that he's necessarily a first-round pick. Second round is a little more where I'd probably view him. And third round, I really still don't think is unrealistic.
All right. Well, another one that keeps getting brought to my attention is Darnell Wright out of Tennessee.
Ooh, that's my language right there.
Now we're getting excited. All right, I hit the button. Go ahead. What do you?
Can I say before we
talk to Dewan Jones because he's going to want to rebuttal.
Go ahead. Yeah. Talk to Dewan Jones. Go ahead.
I want to put them together. Is that Dewan Jones and him? Some of their weaknesses are similar. It's the bend. It's you worry about the speed rushers off the edge against both of those guys. Dewan happens to be 6'8" instead of 6'6". But both of them are big, 6'6", like 340 some, and you got like 6'8", 360 some, or 70. Lord knows what Dewan is, honestly. But I think some of the concerns are similar. I'd be happy with either of them, and I think that DeJuan has his best football, and they're both turning 22 in August, so they're both kind of younger type prospects. Both, Jones was actually more highly recruited out of high school.
So where do you see Jones at? Is he first round or second round for you there, Dale?
I think, because to me, we're picking basically second round.
Yeah.
End of the first is second round. So I have him right in that range that I wouldn't be upset if we took him there. But I understand what Willie's saying. Like, hell, if we get him at the end of the second, that would be a hell of a lot better value.
Yeah. So you think
But I
he'd
just
be
don't
right at
know if he'd
60?
make
That's
it.
the next one, right?
I don't. That's
Okay.
the thing. I don't. So you'd have to fall in love with him. But then if you're in love with a guy like out of Tennessee, Darnell Wright, you probably have to take him at 28 as well.
So I think Dale kind of nailed it on the head. They have very similar issues in pass protection. They're both a little slow-footed at times, getting out on the edge. They both have that issue where they can get beat inside and have a little trouble with change of direction. What I really, really like about Darnell Wright is he's got like a freakish run blocking ability. I love watching him run block. I could watch reels of him run blocking all day long.
We need to get you and Parker Blake here on sometime. You guys can just gush over this stuff.
Parker's coming on. We're going to talk Bengals O-line with Parker here on Same Old Stripes next week. I'm fired up about it. Parker and I tweet back and forth about offensive linemen all day long. Like
I love Parker. He's going to be on here Monday. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I think that I really enjoy the physicality that Darnell Wright plays with. You know, DeJuan Jones absolutely plays with it too. Don't get me wrong. But there's just a certain nastiness that I think Darnell Wright possesses that you don't see very often. And you want your right tackle to have. You want a little extra physicality. One thing that I think might be weird about him is you're going to see him get called for a lot of holding penalties when he gets beat inside because he, for whatever reason, just loves to hold on when guys beat him inside. He can't help himself. He gets away with it a little more on that Tennessee tape, but it's going to get called in the NFL against your Myles Garrett's and your TJ Watts. It's going to get called. So his rookie year, I think he's pretty plug and play. Maybe not as plug and play as you'd hope to see. The penalties
would it help that Alex Kappa is his right guard?
Absolutely. It would be a major benefit to him because Alex Kappa will help you get in the right spot, and Alex Kappa is never going to be wrong.
Right. Exactly. All right, stranger here. He's got one here. Giovon Dexter, senior D tackle.
Gervin Dexter.
Man,
his tape is not great.
He's whatever to me. He does not jump off the page. He's okay.
Should be better. Like based on his size and his frame, you would expect like more explosiveness, and he just doesn't have it.
Way more nose tackle feel than I expected when I saw his frame and everything. It does not leap out to me, which is surprising. Those Florida guys, they usually have some pretty crazy athletes, and for that not to jump off the page is a little bit concerning and makes me wonder why he's going to wind up so high in a lot of these mock drafts. I think he's more of a 5th or 6th round.
Yeah, he's the guy from the initial ranking wise to after watching him that one of the guys I dropped to like a good round and a half to 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So what I keep asking everybody on the show here, what is the position? Because the Bengals have done this the last couple of years. What's the position you think the Bengals might double dip on this year? Is it O-line? Is it DBs? Or is it tight end? That's kind of those are the positions I think they might.
We
double
can't
dip.
say O-line because it would have to be.
I'll give you a position if I go low line. I'm going to think about that for a second.
Tackle, guard. We talked about that, right, Jeff?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's still the same freaking. I know, but it's the same position group.
Honestly. Maybe you're double dipping on running back. Is that crazy to say?
I brought that up. I don't remember what show it was, but yeah, I'm like, if you don't sign, if you let Ryan and Mixon go, or if you only sign one of them, you might.
And the thing with that is they've carried 4 running backs on the roster for the last couple seasons. I think that's an interesting part of all of this. I mean, between us on this show, I really don't think Chris Evans is back next year. I don't. I really
what is that?
I think he'll be on the roster going into camp and this, that, and the other. But man, they clearly have no faith in the man.
Right.
So,
I'll tell you what it is. He runs the wrong route a lot. That's a problem. Joe Burrow does not like that. It throws everything Joe Burrow likes to see in the offense into flux. If you're going to run the wrong route and you're going to get called for penalties in this league, it's going to be hard to find a spot for you on the Bengals roster.
Yep,
that's really going to be hard to find snaps. And they don't even trust him as a kick returner anymore. And he got outplayed at kick returner. I think that's an underrated part in all this.
Travion.
He didn't get quit on a kick returner. He got outplayed by Travion Williams.
Yep, exactly. All right, this one that I would just gush over if we got him, but
Mayer.
Mayer, will he be there at 28? And for me, yes, if he's 28, I'm taking him. But I don't know. What do you got?
John Michael Mayer, his body is a wonderland. Yeah, probably. He's one of the few guys that I consider an elite high-level talent in this draft. I mean, if him or Bijan Robinson sitting there for you at 28, I don't know how you don't take him.
All right, Ken's got a question here. Does anyone know who's the best return specialist in the draft?
Whoever the fastest wide receiver is.
Well, it is receivers. There's a few guys I like. Like
Well,
last
that's
year,
what I said.
last year was Marcus Jones
Mhm.
from Houston, and he was a cornerback. But this year, it may also be not Nebraska, from North Carolina State was Marcus Jones. And I think that's the same place as Tank Dell. And I just want the jersey.
Oh,
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell is
Tank Dell is
super
stud.
explosive.
If you get
SMU.
the jersey, it's got to be sleeveless, Dale. Tank Dell jersey has to be sleeveless.
I fucks with that. I
Yeah,
fucks with that.
Yeah, thank you.
He's
I fucks
got
with that.
5'8". That's a little concerning.
No, his size, like he's like 170, soaking wet.
Dale
Like,
just wants the jersey.
no. Go watch the guy. Like, go
Okay.
watch him
Okay.
as
He's
a
awesome.
receiver too. Like, the dude is incredible, and he is by far, in my opinion, the best return man. To answer that question, that will be in this draft. Now, there's some guys that body type may hold up wise better, like a Jaden Reed from Michigan State, Trey Palmer from Arkansas? Nebraska. Yeah, that was my Nebraska guy. Originally, he was at LSU. So he transferred from LSU to Nebraska. And then I feel like I'm missing somebody. But there's like 3 or 4 that could be returners / Zay Flowers. That's another guy. But I think he goes – I think he goes – he's so shifty, and he is an incredible athlete. But I think he goes like mid-second round. I just don't see – I'm trying to think of guys that are going third at the earliest, but most likely like 4th round, which is basically into the 4th round with where our draft pick is.
So I do want to make a note on Tank Dell because I actually think he's more interesting. I know I said he's undersized than he is, and he's even more undersized than the guy I'm about to say. But he gets open in the same way Devontae Smith gets open, and I love that in a wide receiver. He just gets wide open, and I think that's such a unique trait in the NFL today. And
That helps.
you saw him do it in the Senior Bowl against those other really good corners that are going to be pros. I think that's a pretty encouraging trait, even for a guy that's really undersized.
All right, let's get a question from Natty here. He says, "Is this year's draft bad in terms of talent?" What do you guys thought?
It always depends what you need. I hate when it's like, this is a bad draft, because you'll hear, and I know Kuiper, fuck, Jesus Christ. Obviously that man deserves his kudos, way more than just random Dell Altman on Strawberry Ice's show. But he'll say that like, this is a down class. But it's like, it depends what you need. Every class has, like, it's a down. I wouldn't even, like, last year was a down quarterback class, but this year isn't much better outside of like 3, and then you're hoping maybe a 4th player. So, like, a lot of years, I think some of these guys will just judge based off of that. Is there 6 quarterbacks? I don't think it's a bad class overall.
There's not that skill position player. There's not that wide receiver. I mean, we think
there's no Jamar Chase. There's no Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on. I mean, I actually think CJ Sprout is gonna be better than God. Why can't I think of the guy's name?
Bryce Young or Will Levis?
Yeah, Bryce Young. I actually CJ and just stupid reason he's taller, and that's just a physics. I mean, there's only been a couple of short quarterbacks who have actually flourished, and one of them is Drew Brees, gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but that's really it. You can't even say Kyler Murray is. I mean, he's done okay, but he's kind of dropped down. So just the height is an issue for me.
But I think they think 1st round. Like, that's how they base a draft.
Yeah,
for those guys. And they're like, oh, there's 10 to 15 legitimate 1st round prospects in their eyes.
Yeah.
So to them, it's a down class. But I'm like, you only get 1 1st round pick. So
I'll tell you what. you throw a guy like, Peter Skoronsky from Northwestern and Paris Johnson would both be top 10 prospects in any class. So if you think about it that way, it's not like it's the end all be all, but it does not have the premier talent that some of the other drafts we're used to.
At the big positions, Willie, is what I was getting at with that. I think, like you said, with receiver, there's not to me, I have like Quentin Johnston up there from TCU. But cornerback, there's not a Sauce Gardner or a Derek Stingley in this class. I have Joey Porter Jr. as the best one, but he's not a Christian Gonzalez. Those guys, they're all like, there's 6 guys that could go in that first, second round range in most years, but there's not that elite. So I think at the premier positions, there's not the elite guys. Now, Will Anderson from Alabama is elite at defensive end, but you don't have like 3 guys like that in this class.
Yeah, when you get to that next guy on the list, is it Tyree Wilson's the guy from Texas Tech?
Yes, Tyree from Texas.
Miles Murphy.
Yeah, Miles Murphy's the other.
Both of those guys are probably not top 15 picks in a lot of these drafts.
Exactly.
And those guys have really good talent. They just might not have the same ceiling as some of the guys we think about. Your Joey Bosa's, those kind of guys. They're just not as many of those guys in this class. I mean, you mentioned Will Anderson and there's Jalen Carter, but the more we talk about it, the more it's just like those skill positions are just pretty underwhelming this year.
Yeah, so it's the top end talent, especially at the skill positions. But overall, depth wise, I think it's like most years.
A lot of
things. We've had so many years in a row here where we've had high skilled, high quality players. You're going to have a lull where, in a couple, because last year we really didn't have that top of inline player unless I'm forgetting somebody from last year, but I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. So you got back-to-back years of good players, maybe not great players. Who knows? Maybe CJ Stroud and what's his face will be good.
Well, Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Jameson Williams all went in the top 10, 11 picks. So right.
So those guys are the top 5 picks in this draft, maybe. All those guys.
Probably. All right. So, you guys got any more draft stuff? Because now we can move on to the Bengals coaches of pitcher, Callahan, Blue. What you got, Willie?
I'm not saying anything. I'm going to speculate my little tail off so I don't get myself in trouble.
Well, did I read that pitcher is most likely going to be the OC for the Buccaneers, or is that still up in the air?
Willie's got inside scoop.
Willie's got something. I can feel it. Willie.
Oh man.
Willie, no one watches this show anyways. That's what Jeff always
Willie,
says.
it's just us, buddy. There's nobody watching. Don't worry about the 28 people on there. It's fine.
I'm not gonna tip my hand. I think at this point it seems like they're in a better spot than they thought they were going to be in with a lot of these hires. As the Colts hire comes to conclusion, I mean, Brian Callahan's just as in it as anyone. He's just as in it as Jeff Saturday. Lou Anarumo.
Yeah, I said that the other day. Yeah. Fucking Colts don't know what the hell they're doing.
It sounds
check that one up. I'm like, who knows?
Based on what I'm hearing right now, it sounds like the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals will be coaching this Sunday. So I think there's less concern there. That's not a guarantee, but I'd say it's trending defensive, and I'd say it's trending towards one of those coordinators. And I think if you're paying attention to these things, you know who I'm talking about. But I think in terms of retaining a lot of their coaching staff.
Now, Lou still has his second interview tomorrow, though, with them, to be fair, right?
He does. And so Mike Zoom did that yesterday, but it doesn't sound like either of those guys are getting the job. It sounds like they have a pretty good idea of who they want. No guarantees, but it sounds like Jonathan Cannon is their candidate.
So you're saying there's a chance, Willie. That's what you're saying.
Pretty good chance.
We're keeping Lugini. Let's go, baby! Woo!
Put it across the ticker. Breaking news. Willie Lutz announces Lou Anarumo is staying with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, my God. That's not even like Willie was plugged in. That's just, I didn't say it. Yeah. But I'd say that's trending in the Bengals direction.
Good.
It sounds like it because what the hell else are they waiting for?
Puffing up Mike Kafka, whoever the fuck that is, former quarterback, journeyman. Like I was like, Jesus Christ! That's all I've been saying is Mike Kafka's the GOAT. Got to hire this man in Arizona.
I would hire him like now. I don't know what the hell they're waiting on. I mean, Cheezel. It's freaking ridiculous.
They're waiting on one of these other guys from the Super Bowl game.
I mean, I think that the Cardinals have actually done a really good job keeping it close to the vest. I think that Peter Schrager put out he said, going into the Bengals-Chiefs weekend, that there are candidates for some of these jobs that haven't been announced yet because they're allowing those coaches sensitivity while they're still coaching.
All right, so what about pitch?
Now as soon as the Bengals lost, what happened then? Lou Anarumo connected the Arizona Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon has had interviews with the Cardinals. That has come out. But it sounds like
they're waiting
to it, and they're doing a nice job. Their new GM is a real pros pro. Monty Ossenfort, great GM. I'm really excited for him to get the run over there. I think they're going to be in a much better situation going forward. I think Steve Keim, moron. Neither here nor there.
He's dumbass.
Yes.
You're not wrong. So we talk about Lou and Cal. What about pitch? I mean, because I know people are like, somebody commented
I think if Callahan's staying, I think Pitch takes that OC job.
That's what I think.
That's
somebody
putting
commented on
together. And Willie, you can say maybe that's.
Go ahead, Willie. We're all friends.
Willie knows about this one the most.
What do you got, Willie?
No, I don't have any information to share there. I think it's not wrong to continue to wait to see what happens with Brian Callahan.
Right.
If I'm the Buccaneers, I probably want that job filled sooner than later. But at the same time, if Dan Pitcher's the guy they want and they're making an aggressive push for him, they're going to keep making an aggressive push for him and wait for him to have his moment. And if that's what he needs, that's what he needs. But I think like everyone else, they're probably getting pretty impatient with the Colts taking their sweet time on the coach.
We all are.
Yeah.
we all are.
We talked about that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Jeff.
It's Thursday. We're still talking about it. Like, pick somebody already. Well, don't pick Lou and don't pick Callahan. Pick somebody else.
Well, the Colts didn't even interview Lou. That's
true. Yeah. Just Callahan. My bad. But I think it's funny. Somebody, I can't remember, it was on Facebook or Twitter. We're talking about, I retweeted something about Pitch possibly going to be the OC for the Buccaneers. And somebody goes, well, this is why the Bengals need to pay their coaches more. I said, you do realize they just signed him to a contract extension, and it doesn't matter. It's from a quarterback coach to an offensive coordinator. Anybody's going to take that. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, it's a natural career progression type thing. It's the same thing with Lou. If Lou's offered it, but if Lou knows that the head coach is not training his way, now that Willie Lutz broke the news to everyone on Twitter, you can put it on Twitter right now. Willie Lutz broke the news. Lou Anarumo is staying in Cincinnati.
That's all.
Willie Lutz, same old stripe said it. Willie Lutz.
For Lou's sake, if you know it's not trending towards you, Lou should come out and say, I want to stay defense coordinator of the Bengals for another year. Go ahead,
I'm doing it for Willie.
Yeah.
Exactly. That made me feel a lot better.
Like Lou should just come out and say he's staying for another year because he turned down the job. They didn't pick someone else.
Well, also him and Callie both have pretty good extensions still on the table too. They've had him. They got him last year after the Super Bowl. They'll be sticking around.
There you go. I like what you're saying, Willie. You
and
need
you're
to come
saying
on
they're
more
going
often.
to pay him. They're going to pay him. So for everybody that's saying that,
yes,
that's for you, Jeff. For what people say to you, like,
yes,
we need to pay it. No, they're going to pay them. They want to
you
pay
think
them.
they were paying Mike Zimmer? You think they were paying Mike Zimmer bottom dollar? No. When Mike Zimmer was the defensive coordinator here, he was one of the 3 or 4 highest paid defensive coordinators in football.
Exactly.
All
Willie,
right.
with the inside information, everybody.
Willie.
All break. That's his story. That's not mine. But I'm happy to be the dork that reads Twitter nonstop to figure that shit out.
Willie, when you coming up Bengals and Brews and drinking some beers?
I don't know. You got to invite me.
Well, you just every time I invite you, then you're like, "Oh, I can't do it this day." So I just
You got to skip. You got to work with me.
Dude, you just got to bug the ever living dog crap out of Willie.
No, but that's not my style, Willie, you
That's
tell
what
me
I
when
do.
you're available.
This man gives me a range of dates and times. And I tell him what works for me.
Thursdays, I can do Thursday, Fridays, or Saturdays anytime during this off season, and we can do it anytime from 6 p.m. start to like 9 p.m. start.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hard 5:30 every day, Monday through Friday like me.
Well, Thursdays I should not do late on Thursdays. I prefer to do earlier Thursdays, but Friday and Saturday I don't give a fuck. You want to do 1 a.m. in the morning? and fucking Friday or Saturday, let's fucking do it.
Like I said, no one watches.
Crip will be here. Crip will be here, and Stranger. They never let me
Stranger.
down.
No, they're always on. All right, Willie. So, before you go on Bengals and Brewers, tell us about Sandwich Stripes and what you got going on real quick before I let you go.
Yeah, so really fun couple episodes ahead for Same Old Stripes. We're actually on the internet, people. I figured out how to use StreamYard. I don't know why it took me. I'm not bad with technology. I don't know what my problem was.
I didn't either.
We did it, and it blew my mind. And here, the world has changed for us now. No, but coming up tomorrow, we'll be releasing a little bit of a celebration of AJ Green's career. We're going to have Mo Egger joining us for that. We'll have Bengal Jim joining us for that. I think their perspectives are going to be really exciting for you guys to check out. And then next week, we're going to have Parker Blake coming on the show for an episode that I've already heard. State of the Bengals offensive line.
Yeah.
Big stuff there. So
let's go.
That's what I've got for you guys.
What about me? When am I coming back? Me and Travis was on there one time.
Now I got to get you scheduled, Dale.
I thought I did a good job.
I haven't seen him since the off season.
Dale, at least you've been on his show. I mean, Willie's been on mine like 50 times.
We've never had you on. Oh my God, we never had you on.
No, you haven't. You've never had me on.
You on this off. I didn't realize we hadn't had you on. I'm so used to talking to you. I just figured you'd been on our show.
Me and Jeff over here like fucking actors that have been out of work for 20 years begging for things. Well, could you just give us a cameo in your movie?
I haven't been on the show. What the hell?
Hey, God. We need more work, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, because Same Old Stripes is definitely paying. I'm not in the hole on that podcast.
Boom, baby.
Yeah, Bengals and Brews. Yeah, we're making 0 millions.
Dude,
0 million.
I'm rolling in it over here.
Love you,
All right, Willie. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Boys, take care.
Who day? All right, Dale.
That was great.
What the hell you got going on?
No, that was great. I'm glad I was part of this. You know, that was fun. I love Willie. He always kills it.
Oh, dude, Willie, he was killing me. He's like,
oh yeah, you can see, you can read it all over his face.
I know. I'm like, what is it, Willie? Tell me. Like, I want to know.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this show. From us starting out arguing, but never felt like I don't even remember what we were arguing about.
Who cares?
Let's bring it back up. Come on, we got to circle it back.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, the T. Higgins thing, right?
You're wrong. He's staying in Cincinnati.
Willie said I was right. No, I hope he stays in Cincinnati. I'm just saying.
I know. Yeah.
I did the comments. But either way, dude, you're my fucking brother. I enjoyed doing this show. It's fucking fun. Better than Bengals and Brews, fucking losers. Those guys are so fucking boring. It's just me and fucking talking to God. I ended up talking to my beer can of Vanilla Whites on there. It's so fucking boring. Just kidding.
So when are you doing the boring show again?
But I will be doing one of those boring shows, but I made sure you're coming with me. So
yeah, tomorrow night.
We'll do one tomorrow night at 7.
Either.
We're also popping a cherry, by the way.
Oh, who's that?
So it'll be Derek and me and you, Trace Amigos, and then unless his wife goes into labor, because she's 2 weeks from her due date, Draft Guy Jared from Twitter.
Woo! Cool.
So this is the first podcast. So
boom, baby. Let's go.
He's pumped. I'm pumped. He's always bringing out bangers. Like I seen he was big on Mozzie Smith from Michigan, and I was like, damn, I'm just now getting like I should have been paying more attention to your shit during the season. But season, I'm either like I'll do my own draft shit or I'm focused on just the Bengals, you know. Dude, but he's been on this draft stuff, so I respect that.
Dude, like I said, I don't know. I don't focus. I don't study as much as you guys do. I love talking draft though up to you guys who know the stuff and educate me. And I'm such a draft geek anymore. It's ridiculous. But
that's like with Willie. Like when I'm like, I'm like,
I can sit here
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I'm like, Willie, what's your opinion on this guy? Because I'm like, I'm getting hyped but I'm like, man, this might be boring. But I'll tell Jeff he's got a little pecker later, guys.
Dude, I'll sit back. I enjoyed it.
I've seen it in the restrooms.
I did. No, you didn't. What?
Just want to say it small.
God. All right, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I'm hungry. That sound good? Not that.
Congratulations, Jen.
Oh my God, you're out. Bye. Oh. Oh my goodness, I love that dude. That is my boy, my brother from another mother. He is Dale Altman, my seat neighbor. Oh wait, he looks like he has something else to say. What?
I went like this.
Oh, okay. For the
And
podcast listeners,
I was like, eat that pussy, you know. Eat it.
Okay, for the podcast listeners, he blew me a kiss and then he said something weird. So, oh my god, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I have so much fun doing the show sometimes. All right, guys, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They are Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. And then, of course, you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. And then, hopefully, I've been pulling the sound off the podcast. I'm going to try to, but make sure you go check it out. It's on Beanpod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, 2,111. That is awesome. You guys rock. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, Dale's coming back on, and we're gonna have Matt Bengals and Bourbon on. I reached out for another guest. He's kind of busy. His dad's probably getting in find out that he's getting the Hall of Fame tonight. I'm hoping Ken Riley II will be able to come on, but I know he's a busy guy, and I reached out to him way too freaking late to ask him, but I'm hoping Ken Riley II will be on tomorrow. If not, it'll be me, Dale, and Bengals and Bourbon, and we can talk about all things Bengals. This was kind of a fun show. I really did thoroughly enjoy this. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. One more day to the weekend. I'm saving my money for Vegas, just letting everybody know, because I'm going to Vegas. Jackpot Joey's going to be there, and we're going to win the Super Bowl next year. Believe that. Other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bengal stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes be tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move closing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we